Coming up, my recent trip to Coronado Springs and the parks for one last annual pass visit. Welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far podcast, where we explore perspectives of the Walt Disney World Resort from 10 to 1,000 miles away. I am Mike the Far in this equation.
And I'm John the Near.
All right, John. Well, I was at the parks this past weekend for one last trip with my wife to try and squeeze a few extra days in on those annual passes. They actually expire on Tuesday of next week. And little news flash, I will be at Epcot on Monday because I'm flying back down tomorrow and taking my daughter to Horror Nights. And we'll be staying, at a Universal hotel and then driving over before I fly out on Monday to go to Epcot because I want to see the annual pass preview of Moana's, whatever splash pad or whatever it's called, and
what's it called? Water inspired by Moana.
There it is. Okay, and soaring over California, and actually there is one last AP magnet that they're giving out. Did you know that, John?
I don't really pay attention to that like I used to. I have a bunch of magnets here, and yeah, they get piled on top of each other next to me.
But, yeah, ours goes up in the fridge.
I'll get it if I'm there, but I don't think about it as much as I used to.
Well, this one's an Oswald Rabbit pass or magnet, which I think looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'm sure it's probably at Creation Shop or
yes, it's at the non-themed store, Epcot store.
Make sure you bring your passport with you and 3 forms of ID.
Yeah, that's sure right. Because I might get that.
Make sure you're not trying to get a free magnet if you don't deserve one. So.
I know they do. I can't even imagine as they, check my pass and scan it, how many notifications that I'm going to be made aware of that it's my last day for the annual pass, So yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually. So.
No, so you're not going to renew for now?
For now, and we'll find out later. Like, I think the park trips will get a little bit less. We'll still come down, but we'll be doing day passes most likely.
Well, I told your wife, if you take a few months off, it's not worth renewing the percentage,
Right.
So, and that's if. So, and again, with all the holidays coming up and stuff, you could probably find something to do at home.
Oh, for sure.
But over the next couple of weeks, though, you're at the parks more than I am. So,
right.
I've gone a couple times recently. You've been there more than me, and you're coming back like tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So wait until you hear how many times we got park visits squeezed into 2 days. 2 days last weekend, so it was hectic to say the least. But all right, let me start out this whole video thing. I have some video, but let me just warn everyone that it won't go as smoothly as John's videos. He uses a pretty good system compared to what mine will be. So you'll hear some blurts out of sounds and weird stuff. Just bear with me, please. But so we flew in last Friday night, and got in pretty late. It was, I think we got in about 11 o'clock. We pulled into Coronado Springs, and where you check in at Coronado Springs, it is the tower, the new tower. So that is the new check-in for the entire resort now. So
Yeah, I noticed that they used to have it. They had two for a while, but the old one was very nice too. But it is nice that they have you come up to the beautiful, big, fancy building and stuff, regardless of where you're staying. So
yeah, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the tower, they've done a great job in here, the design and everything.
I know it's too late, but Toledo is really good and up on the thing. And your wife probably wouldn't like it anyway. So
Yeah, there's
I
no
should
way
have
she
I should have came over. Me
you
and you
should
could have went out to a nice dinner at Toledo.
you should have. We would have had a boys' night at Toledo, you know. I did want to get up there. I did not get a chance to, but we tried just about everywhere except for the lounges in the tower itself. So, and the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants, well, Three Bridges in particular, I believe, opened up, right before, the bad stuff that happened the last couple of years that shut the parks down and everything. So we actually got I'll go over it later, about our meal and everything, because that happened later. But that was kind of on a bucket list for me. I really wanted to try that out. I remember when they opened that up, I thought, man, that place looks really awesome. So
I've never eaten there yet. So yeah, that I'm interested to hear about it because I'm always looking for an excuse to be able to park at Coronado so I can take a few pictures and just walk around a little bit.
it's definitely a picturesque resort, though, right, John? I mean, it's easy to lose yourself in that resort for sure. Our room was ready when we pulled in, but the problem is we were hungry. My wife does not eat before flights. She just doesn't like to fly to begin with, so she doesn't eat before flights. So all the restaurants were closed. It was so late when we got in. By the time we got to the hotel, it was actually after midnight. That's what it was, because we did take the Mears Connect service to the hotel. They had to drop off at a couple other hotels, and the only hotel or the only restaurants or things that were open were lounges and Three Bridges, and Three Bridges closed down just before we got to the hotel. We did order a one of the what is it, the you order the delivery
Room service?
No, not that. The one where somebody, some normal person just
like DoorDash or something.
DoorDash. It was like DoorDash or one is. I don't think it was DoorDash. It was one of the other ones, but I'm not sure which. But we just got Wendy's and sat in the lobby. That's why I had a chance to take video. So, like this, we sat in the lobby and waited for our DoorDash to come, and then we walked it back to our room. Like I said, our room was probably ready. It was ready before we were even in the air from Pennsylvania. So the room was way back. You could not get more remote at this resort than where our room was, John. It was way at the back of the resort. And I think when they see that you're an annual pass holder, they seem to put you out in the middle of nowhere at every resort for whatever reason.
Well, they know you're coming back regardless. So.
That's a good point. That's probably what it is.
They don't need to impress you. You're going to come back.
Yeah, well, we were way back. Again, you couldn't get much further than where we were. The fortunate thing was we did have a first floor room, so that was kind of nice. But we were in the Rancho section, and it was that the thing is, bus stop number 3 in the bus loop was really close to our room, so that was really nice. And I think that if you are at a bus stop, 2 or 3 at this resort would be the place to go, because for whatever reason, bus stop number 1 is the last one that they pick up and drop off at. So not
Yeah.
sure.
So the opposite of what you would think.
It is. It goes 2, 3, 4, and then 1, and that's kind of how it works for whatever reason. Now 1 drops you off at the tower, and so then you're kind of close then to all the restaurants and things like that off of 1. A lot of people typically stay on when they come back from the parks just to do that. That is one thing I'll say about this resort, though, John. You don't lack for food options here. They are mostly Spanish or Southwestern themed, so you got to have a taste for that. Even the food court typically has like that kind of theming with their food. Food is not cheap here. I will say that it is. It is not as cheap as, say, your value resort cafeterias or anything like that. But if you know that going in, you can prepare accordingly.
Yeah, I used to love the quick service at this resort. I forget what it used to be called, but it was very festive and colorful, and it looked like a marketplace from somewhere in South America, and it was a very very cool spot. I always remember I would get it was a test, so it was quick service, but you did have a waitress. You went around, got your stuff, then a waiter or waitress would come and refill your drink for you if you had your drinks, and
Oh wow,
it was like a weird combo deal.
that's pretty cool. I never knew that. Have you ever stayed at this resort, John, at Coronado?
When my daughter was 2, so 20 years ago I did.
Okay. Do you remember about where your room was located?
Well, as you're in the main building, I think it was almost all the way in the back and to the left. So it was way in the back. And I remember, my wife would like to go get coffee in the morning. She would always get up real early and get coffee. And I remember you weren't going back for refills back there because it was far. And when we stayed, it didn't have that bridge in the middle. It
Oh
was
my.
you're walking around. That was the only option. That's something they added too. When we stayed, there was a bridge, and then there was no bridge. And I always remember my daughter fell and hit her chin in that play area by the pool, and she couldn't go swimming for the rest of the week. So that was a big disappointment. But they had boats there, so we would rent the little mouse racer boats, and I got in trouble for letting her drive them. Like she'd be steering them while I'm hitting the gas, and the people watching would be like, "She's not allowed to do that." And so I made her sit next to me, and then I still let her grab the wheel and make it turn. So
That's cool. Wow.
well, I figured she needs to do something.
They don't do that anymore. I mean, they don't have the boats or anything like that, and they do
There's a
have the
bridge.
bridges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
two
bridges
bridges
are there.
divides it up now, so that wouldn't work anymore.
You probably were in the ranchos where we were, but it was yeah, that's probably where it was. It is really nice out there though. It's quiet. You hear the fireworks coming from Magic Kingdom back there, believe it or not. So that was interesting. But in any case, we were back. We got in really late. We got to our room, so I did take a little bit of video of our room, and this is what it looks like now. I don't know if it looked like this when you were,
I can't remember. I do think it looks similar to that because it's a newer resort. So
Yeah.
I know they did update some of the rooms, but overall, I think they were all pretty modern looking already.
They
But
have three Caballeros artwork, which is pretty cool.
yeah, they didn't have any characters in there when I was there.
Yeah, it's I do like it looks like they've updated it recently, like some of the doors look
Yeah,
newer and
yeah,
the beds in this room were incredibly comfortable.
that's
Very
definitely
nice.
an updated room. Yeah, with the three Caballeros and stuff. That's the
Yeah.
update. Yeah, when I was there, nothing like that. So
They didn't have there wasn't carpet on the floor. It was that whatever wood stuff, the kind of rubbery wood stuff. But it's definitely a conventioner's hotel. You can tell, like, they put some of the stuff that you would see in a convention hotel. And really, I think that was the purpose of this hotel originally. But yeah, it was nice. I mean, I really enjoyed the room. I like staying there, and gave me an appreciation for the place. This is the first time I stayed there, so
yeah, I think it's one of the nicer hotels. It's one of the few moderate that feels like a deluxe. It's like a combo, you know.
yeah.
Could be either the way with the amenities too, because it has a gym and stuff too. I think it's the only moderate with a gym. But then again, if you're staying in the Grand Destino Tower, I think that's kind of a deluxe. At least it
It
feels like it.
is. It has a price sometimes that's deluxe, but other times that you can get a deal. For us to stay at Grand Destino, it would have only been maybe like $30 more a night, which, it adds up over time, but it adds up, but when you're staying there for 2 nights, it might not have been so bad. We were trying to do this as cheap as possible, but the the Grand Destino per night and those rooms were under $300. So, most of the deluxe hotels are way upwards of $300 a night. I think the cheapest, although Animal Kingdom Lodge, sometimes you can get a little less, but for the most part, you're looking at northward of 350 a night in the deluxe. So, and again, like you said, I think those hotel rooms and the amenities to Grand Destino are more befitting of a deluxe resort. So, all right. So, we were going to go to Epcot the next day, and because we got in so late, we did not rope drop. There was no way we were going to get up in time to do it. And we just kind of wanted to approach this trip as a relaxing thing, just kind of come and go as we wanted to. So, we did go to Epcot the next day. Of course, it's Food and Wine Festival and, all the things involved with that, of course. And, we, just started to look at the wait times, and we noticed everything was really high. The wait time, it was crowded this past weekend. So Spaceship Earth, even at this point in time, and this was probably maybe about, I don't know, 10:30. Spaceship Earth was already like over a half hour wait. And we just decided, let's do it later or else come back the next day. So we didn't go to Spaceship Earth. She wanted to do Test Track. John, guess what? You know what I'm going to say. Broken down all day. Test Track. So we didn't go to Test Track. We didn't do that the whole day. In fact, all we really got to do for the most part is food. The food and wine stuff because of how busy it was. That'll come into play later, but we did go to the creation shop and I looked around. There was a ton of Halloween stuff out, like new Halloween stuff that was really cool. Like there was some cool stuff in there that I hadn't seen and really expected. There's a Loungefly bag, that my wife thought was cute. She's not really into that stuff, but she thought it was cute. And again, pardon me, I didn't edit anything, so this is just like as I took it. But
People like authentic videos. They're looking for it unpolished. So.
unless it gives them headaches because it shakes around. Here's another bag of some type, and then there was like kind of like this haunted house type thing that they had. I think one thing that Disney does well now is put out unique and different merchandise for whatever reason, and of course they've learned that if you do that, people will buy your crap. And that's what people were doing. They were buying this Halloween stuff. So there was a ton of that stuff we saw at the Creation Shop. They had it all over the shops, all over Walt Disney World. But I don't know if you guys bought anything Halloween or not, John. I didn't buy anything like that, but I did like it. I thought it was cute, you know.
Yeah, not this year. I don't know why that, after living here so many years, I'm getting disgruntled about it. And, my wife used to work there, so we did get a discount, and now we don't get as much. And I don't know.
I totally understand. I get it. It's very expensive. Everything is really expensive because they're targeting those once every 3 years, once every 5 years, people with this stuff. Of course, people that go more often know that this is all going to end up at the Character Warehouse on clearance later. So, I mean, it'll be way cheaper. But and the sheer amount of merchandise that they put out for this year, they're going to have some heavy hauls at the Character Warehouse in a few months. So we left the Creation Shop and started walking over towards the Odyssey building. I wanted to go over to check out the strange stuff in the brewing lab, and that's where the pickle milkshake is. And John, I got it in my head, I was not going to try the pickle milkshake because everyone in the entire world has seemingly tried this pickle milkshake.
Not the worst milkshake ever.
Well, because of how, everyone's tried it, and not the worst milkshake. I wasn't going to do it. I just had it in my mind, not going to do it. So we went there, and I tried the peanut butter, the PB&J sticky wings, and the frozen pomegranate tea, which was the other frozen option.
That one is good.
Did you tried it?
Yeah.
I really liked it a lot.
Yep.
But I don't know if you noticed or how long you hung on to that thing, but I had an observation about it here in a minute. The wings themselves are a mess. And I know you don't really, I don't think you partake in the wings in there, right? I mean, it's kind of like a, common thing. Peanut butter and jelly wings, I thought that is so weird and just so like, who the hell would even, pardon my French, who the heck would even try that? So I tried it. I decided to try it. It made a mess. I'm telling you what, John, it was really good. Peanut butter and jelly wings had a real nice taste to it. Even my wife liked them. She tried them. So I would highly recommend those. I might even get them again when I go on Monday. I don't know. We'll see. But PB&J sticky wings and the frozen pomegranate tea, I liked them.
Yeah. I don't really do wings. I don't like my hands getting dirty. So
I understand why, and they definitely do. So, all right, the pomegranate tea, I noticed, if you look, like this is after drinking some of the tea out of it, but take a look at what happened with the those little frozen, like, things inside, they sucked up a lot of that moisture, a lot of that stuff, and they start to turn color and they clump and they turn into just a frozen thing. So you can kind of walk around in the sun with those things and actually start to eat those little, icy things with a spoon and get flavor and everything. So I'm pretty sure if you read the cup, it actually tells you a story about what this thing will do and what it's designed to do. And it's actually designed to do this, I believe. So, kudos to Disney, to the culinary group at Disney for coming up with this. I don't know about the pickle thing, but I mean, this thing was really awesome. And to me, it's kind of like a hidden gem. I don't think too many people are going for this. They're going for that weird pickle thing just because it's got all the attention, but
Yeah, I thought it was great. I didn't have anything that iced up though, and I think it might be we went in the middle of the day on back when it was 100 degrees out, and I think it was just so hot that everything was just melting. Like there was no refreezing of anything going on.
yeah, this thing refroze and then we could take it out in the heat, and the heat index was like 103 that day. So on last Saturday, so it did melt pretty quick out in the atmosphere, but it really it was cool because it was, retaining all this ice and stuff long enough to actually enjoy it. It was a pleasant drink. So I really liked it. All right. Next, we went from the Odyssey Pavilion to the Mexico stand. And if you look at this is the Taco de Costilla. And it is a slow braised short rib on a corn tortilla with there's like this type of salsa on it, and there's avocado mousse and spring onions, and that is the Mexican craft beer in the background, the 5-ounce that I tried. The taco was different than the taco that they usually have, which the one I was expecting, and it was pretty good. Believe it or not, the beef was really nice. It's small, a small taco. But that's okay. I wasn't looking for a meal. I was just looking for a taste. So everything blended together really well. So I enjoyed that taco. The beer itself as a craft beer, Mexican craft beer, it was pretty good. It was a pleasant craft beer, like a wheat beer almost. And then next from there, we went to the Mexico Pavilion. And from the Mexico Pavilion, John, right out of the Mexico Pavilion, because the line for the Three Caballeros ride was clear, almost hanging out of the building. That's how busy it was that day.
You're wrong, Mike. September is empty. It's the best time to go to the parks. And I've been told by people you can trust online, don't avoid the summer. Go in September. It's so empty.
Well, with respect to the content creators that, have been saying that, they're wrong. It was crowded. It was really crowded that day. And I sort of expected it to be because of the festival and everything. And it is what it is. But we just decided to walk around and really not worry too much about the attractions and just kind of enjoy the food booths and try and squeeze some of that stuff in. The next thing we did was just hang out at the China Pavilion. I wanted to walk around. My wife wanted to get chopsticks for one of our kids. So
every time I go there, I want the orange chicken from the quick service place. It's the worst deal ever for Chinese food. It's like I don't know, $15-20 for rice and orange chicken. You can get 3 or 4 meals at a normal restaurant, but I always want it for some reason, though.
Well, this I understand why. I love orange chicken, and I bet it's delicious. I'm gonna have to try it there sometime.
Yeah, I want
Maybe.
it right now.
Yeah, I might. Maybe on Monday. Who knows?
I don't know that it's the best orange chicken because I don't eat that stuff a lot, but I do know that when I would be at Disney World, it would be like fries, burger, chicken tenders, fries, chicken, and then I'd be like, wow, rice and orange chicken. That seems so unique when I would vacation there that I would be like, wow. I'd tell my wife and daughter, you go to America and get yourself a burger. I'm getting the orange chicken. I'll meet you. I remember that. That's when America wasn't barbecue. They just had regular stuff.
I used to go to the Mexico Pavilion and get some Mexican food. I'd take one of my kids that was more adventurous, and they would go to the Electric Umbrella, and eat burgers there. So
that happened all the time with us too. But now my daughter likes trying all kinds of food. So
yeah. Some of my kids, different kids have different tastes, but mine do. But in any case, the China Pavilion, one of the best stores, very underrated for, the stuff that they have here in their marketplace. They definitely have some really cool, like, cultural selections, a lot of jade stuff and all that, swords and daggers and stuff.
I love the jade stuff in there. That's so cool looking. And I usually like to get the rice candy, that soft candy that's made with rice on the outside so it doesn't stick to your fingers. But man, I forget what it's called, but that is very good. They have it in the Japan Pavilion too, but it's always cheaper at the China Pavilion.
Yeah. So, we were going to spend some time at the Japanese Pavilion too, because of the, whole chopsticks thing that we were getting from one of the kids. But we wanted to try China first, just take a look and see if they had any. They did, but they were a little more, decorated, I guess, decorative and different than what we were expecting to get for our daughters. So we were going to wait. We were going to come back if we didn't find something in Japan. The next place we went to was the German Pavilion, and let me pull that video up here. So we didn't really spend a lot of time or do much in the Norwegian Pavilion this time. Usually we do stuff there, but just I didn't really, you couldn't do the Frozen ride. So what was the difference?
I used to love that pavilion, but now that it's Arendelle, I just feel like I don't feel interested in it anymore. It used to feel very unique, but now that it's centered around a fictional movie and a fictional place, it just seems like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like the World Showcase anymore to me. It's like Frozen Land, Arendelle. But
yeah, it kind of is. It does kind of give you that feel to some degree. And the bad thing about it is the actual authentic Norwegian stuff. You don't know if you're looking at authentic stuff or whether this is a creation, right? I mean,
I don't know. Is it Frozen? Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I got in Germany, I got the beer flight, which was a Kolsch, a Fest beer, and a Hefeweizen. And then we got the Schinkennudeln, which is a kind of a fancy mac and cheese casserole with little ham and onion bits in it. And we also got the bratwurst with the pretzel roll and mustard. And my wife she didn't even want to try the noodles, because the mac and cheese, because it had onions in it, and she's not really crazy about that. And she doesn't
Yeah,
like, she's not big on cheese either. So,
I'm not a big onion person too, but sometimes it's not bad.
yeah. The brat we cut in two and tried that. I really liked all this stuff. This is my kind of food. I grew up, my grandmother and my grandmother's family, they are of German descent. So a lot of this type of food is what I grew up with, you know, so, it was, I like this stuff. It's savory and, it has a nice taste to it. The beer too, the beer flight was really good. I liked all the beers in that flight. Some people complain a little bit about the Kolsch. I liked it. So I don't know. I had a taste for it. But it was very, very hot at this point in the day, and we could not find any shady places to eat this kind of food. So I don't know that I'd recommend eating this kind of food in 103-degree heat index. So find shade or air conditioning nearby. The next thing I did, John, was I took your advice and I went to, let's see if it pulls up here. I went to the popcorn and candy stand there.
The caramel cooch.
That's right. And we, you know, I was watching them make the popcorn and kind of, you know, pile it in. And let's see, the next, what else did we get here?
The butter bars are the best.
Well, that's what this, I asked for the pumpkin butter bar.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to try that. So, because I kind of accepted the challenge. You said, how does one person eat all that? I'm sorry to say I ate it all. I ate one. And I kind of felt, I don't know. I just felt a little weird after that, you know, like diabetes was setting in or something.
I'm sure it was.
But
Your arteries were slowly hardening.
they were. It was, it actually tasted really good though. I did enjoy it. Here it is. In fact, there is the pumpkin butter bar.
Yeah, well, they are good. Now
Yeah.
they look small, but you can share them. They're definitely shareable, even though they're small.
Yes, they are. And this is what my wife got. She already had some of it ate. I don't even know what you call that thing. But it has like caramel and a little bit of chocolate and some kind of like bar underneath it, you know, like maybe it's a butter bar of some type. I don't know, but, she seemed to know what it was. Oh no, it had pretzels. It was pretzels with some caramel and chocolate. So she liked it. She didn't eat it all. She ended up throwing some, you know, the rest of it out. I don't think she ate much more than this. So
Like I said before, you can, when they say butter, they're not joking, because I saw them making the popcorn, and I've never seen a bigger stick of butter. So that's what makes it so good.
yeah, I'll tell you, and it's real butter too. You can tell, it has a real nice taste to it, but it's definitely got that kind of buttery, milky, fresh butter kind of taste. Did you ever walk into that crystal shop where they're making, like jewelry and stuff back there, John, that was in the German pavilion?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not very often, but I've been back there though.
Well, so we went back there and we were just kind of looking around, and I thought that was really interesting. Everything's very expensive, but it's all handcrafted. But this thing right here, I don't know if you saw this thing, $79,000 for the Epcot, you know, crystal kind of glass thing right there. I'm not going to buy it anytime soon. You know, I don't know that I have that much credit on a credit card, nor would I buy something like that, but I definitely love it. I mean, it looks really cool.
Could take out a home equity loan.
That's not happening. Just saying. But man, it is beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I don't know if you've seen this, and that's the one that gets kind of the attention. But this next thing was interesting. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Let me see how much. I know I captured how much that is. And it was like turning. If you look at it, it's kind of turning. And, this one is, I think it was, what did that say? Yeah, I think that one is $12.50. Or maybe that.
$12.50.
Oh, no, my friend. Not $12. And that might have even been the stand. Who knows? I don't know. It might be more than that. But I think it was $12.50 for the for this. And yeah, $12.50. And I think now I'm not going to buy that, but man, I think that's really cool. I really like that. And that they took the time to do that. I just really appreciated that when I saw that, and wasn't sure if you saw that before.
Yeah, I haven't been back there in a while. I don't usually make it back there, but I always wanted to eat at the beer garden back there. That looks so cool. Like, I love the look of it. They have like a tree inside on the stage, and they play the music, and it reminds me of my trips to Busch Gardens.
Well,
they had the big fest house there, and they played the band in the middle, and it was really cool.
Interestingly enough, I said that to my wife when I was back there. Someday, that's on my bucket list to go back there. Mm-hmm. So you and I need to go there sometime. We need to meet up and go in there and go eat, because I don't know if she wants to go there or that would appeal to her or not. But man, I definitely want to go back there. That's my type of food. I have fun listening to those. I don't play Oompa bands, so to speak, on my Apple playlist, but I definitely enjoy or would enjoy eating a meal listening to them. So,
nah, me too. I like I said, whenever we would go to Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, we'd eat in the Germany area, and it was called the Fest House, and it got to the point where they would literally do shows in the middle. There's a big stage in the middle with the long tables all around, and just really cool. I definitely appreciate the German stuff.
Yeah, I love it. We'll have to go there. So everything was crowded again. I didn't really ride anything. We were kind of looking at the wait times, and the wait times across the parks, other than maybe Animal Kingdom, were kind of creeping up a little bit, and then stabilizing eventually around this time. So I said to Amy, my wife, we haven't done the American Adventure for a while, so let's go to the American Adventure. And she said to me, "Oh, is that one of those boring stage shows?" I said, "You're unpatriotic. That's all you are." So, you can't really film, or they encourage you not to film during this thing. I don't think anyone would say anything if you did. It's not like they're filled up. I've never filmed during it, but I really like the statues around the theater, and so I got a couple videos of those. So from there, because everything was filled up, we couldn't really do anything, and we were sort of full from all the food that we ate. We decided, you know what? It's after 2. Let's go park hopping. So we took the Skyliner over to Studios, and we knew we weren't going to ride a lot of things over there, but we just kind of wanted to go over, maybe see a show or get something to eat quick. We didn't do that. We did not eat anything over there, and we did get to catch the Muppet Show, and I got to ride Star Tours. And Star Tours gave me a different scene that I had never seen before. It was, I I did see the Death Star one from the last movie. That one, the crashed Death Star that was on the on Endor, and that was on this. That was on this one, and then they gave another scene. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was totally new to me. But Star Tours, John, always a pleasant ride, easy to get on. 5 minutes wait typically. And by the way, they had the ice cream stand open at Gertie.
Yeah, that's been open a lot lately.
We almost got something there, but we decided, oh man, we're so full. We're just not, not going to do it. So after Star Tours, we went over to the Muppet Land, and you said they had walls up everywhere. They did have some walls up in front of this area, but you could kind of walk around it and go back here. So we went back there, went to see the Muppet Show. That was, fun as always. And from there, we decided, okay, let's go to Animal Kingdom. Let's go get on a bus and go to Animal Kingdom. So we did that. And we went over to Animal Kingdom so that I could get some bags of coffee and ride single rider on Expedition Everest. But once we got over to Animal Kingdom, you could see like people were starting to leave, and, it was kind of getting later. This was probably closer to maybe 5 o'clock, so we didn't have a heck of a lot of time. So we went back, and I went to do Everest single rider, and the line for Everest itself, like the regular line, was probably around a half hour or something, even at that point. But single rider, I got right on it.
That's good. That's good to hear, because that doesn't always work so good. But.
Right. And, I didn't film on there because I had, a stranger next to me, and I didn't want to annoy them. And how many, I know I already have film from Everest, and I figured, I don't really, it's no big deal. But
one day I actually got a follower from doing that. I think I waited for the front, and then I was by myself, so they had a single rider come, and I was like, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna record this then, just so if you wonder what I'm doing. And they were asking me questions or whatever, and then they started following me, and then they were even commenting on the post saying I was right next to him while he was recording it. It's like it turned out to be fun. This is like a couple of years ago now.
That is really cool. What a great way to meet a follower.
Well, they weren't a follower, but they were like, oh, what no, but and they started. So one follower at a time. Every couple of years, I'll get a new one.
It's a great way to meet a new follower. This, Zuri's shop, this is one of my favorite places in Animal Kingdom to go if I'm shopping.
I don't know why. It's newer, but there's something about that shop just seems nice,
I love it. It's where I go. They have like a bakery in here, and I didn't film anymore because I wanted to look myself. But I really like Zuri's because this is a great place if you want to get Disney coffee, bagged Disney coffee to take home. And I've collected quite a stockpile of this stuff. I like the breakfast blends, the breakfast blend, and because it's real weak, but I also like the resort blends typically. And they have different names for the resort blends, but it's basically the same thing. So they might call it resort blend in the bag. They might call it, I think it's called signature blend. So the signature blend is really my favorite, but I do like the pumpkin. I like, that morning blend. My daughter likes the vanilla bean blend. So we got all four. We got 4 bags of coffee in there. So when you see me drinking coffee, sometimes if we do a morning show, uh, that's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking the Disney Resort coffee, which I really love, and I drink it every day. So I typically go to Animal Kingdom and I'll bring some back. And it's the Zuri's Sweets is the easiest place in all of Walt Disney World for me personally to find it. I haven't found it too many other places. Even I've looked around at Epcot and I have a heck of a time finding it there. So Magic Kingdom too, with all the stores and everything there. I've looked all over Hollywood Studios. I haven't found it there. But Zuri's Sweet Shop, always find coffee in there. The other thing is we typically get a drink, and this time I got an alcoholic drink. I put rum. I had them put rum in it. So it's like usually they'll have 2 types of sweet kind of slushy drinks. And so that's what we got in there. And I got a water. Man, was it hot, and we were starting to get kind of worn out and sick. We were going to go ride Dinosaur one last time before they closed it because we may not get back before they start to work on it. Who knows? At this point, who knows? We were going to do that. We were going to do Tough to Be a Bug because they are closing that down. We did not get a chance to do either one of those just because Amy was feeling, I think it was like she was getting dehydrated and a little heat exhaustion.
I have to tell you, and again, I might be wrong. I often am, but the stuff that they said about dinosaur and all that, I don't think they have any type of plan or schedule, or I don't think they did any of the research and development that they need to do to see. I know the ride system is the same, but I don't, the building heights and all that. I don't know. Um, Basically, I guess the short thing would be I don't really believe him because it wasn't long ago they said Moana is going and Secret or Zootopia is going to where Dinosaur Land is, and
Mm-hmm.
now they said, oh, now Encanto or Indiana Jones. It's like I feel like they're just saying stuff, and so even if they do it, and they probably will, because that's my daughter's other favorite ride, so I'm sure they have to get rid of dinosaurs as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to take a while. Even if they run out of money, they'll definitely close Dinosaur at least. Just like they did with Splash Mountain. They really couldn't afford to go forward, and they were like, we're doing it anyway. We're start tearing it
Right. I've noticed, well, we'll talk about it a little bit later. I'll get into that, but something about Splash Mountain and all that. But it's like one of my family's favorite rides too, John. So it's not just you. And I love Indiana Jones. I really do. And I am looking forward to something different, but I sort of preferred that if they would have kept it in California, because that would have given me something else to go out to California and Disneyland to see. I mean, I don't understand what it is about, Disney World suddenly feeling the need to acquire everything that California is doing unique and different, but let it go. And it's just like, I understand it. Like they can't keep up with the animatronics and all that. Well, you can if you put a little maintenance into your stuff, you know. I mean, they've been able to keep up with this stuff for years. So,
they're losing money everywhere else. So
yeah.
it's got to be cut from the park somewhere, unfortunately. But I was going to say my issue though too is I can't say that A Bug's Life is my favorite show or anything, but the reason it's there is because it's Disney and it actually fit, So
Mm-hmm.
Zootopia, or sorry, I keep thinking Secret, or yeah, it is
Yeah,
Zootopia.
it is. Yeah.
How does that fit inside that tree at all? It kind of messes up the entire.
The immersion of the
Well,
thing.
again, if Joe Rody was still there, he would have said this will destroy the whole theme of Epcot or of Animal Kingdom. You can't just jam something in because you like it. But the same with Encanto, Indiana Jones, like all this stuff that has nothing to do with animals. I feel like Avatar Land was enough of pushing on him, saying make it work. It has to work, because it's got a general conservation thing, so it's not too bad. But I have a feeling one of the reasons he left is he just couldn't get on board with how about we put any IP anywhere we feel like, regardless of there is no overall theme, there's no sight lines, we don't care about anything, just jam it in if it's IP. It's like that's where they're at. So, and again, I don't think it will fit at all, but it'll remind me of Six Flags. Just put a sign up, Zootopia ride, and then go in. It's like, that doesn't really.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, and I think it is a shame that they ran Joe Rohde off because of this, this type of stuff. Because I do believe that's probably why he left.
The 20-year-old Imagineers know much better than him.
Oh yeah, they can design a mean floor. Let me tell you. But
he's old. Old people are bad.
So I think that if you look at what Joe Rohde did out in California,
that statement could be the why we get demonetized for this one.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just joking, but
yeah, it's a joke. Lighthearted. Come on, guys. but it's Joe Rohde when he took the Tower of Terror out in California and they wanted to turn it into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. He took an iconic ride, a beautiful ride, and you can see it at Hollywood Studios still. Just an unbelievable experience. And because Joe Rohde was behind it, from what I understand, he turned it into another unbelievable experience using IP. And unfortunately, I don't think that he necessarily did that without, being begrudging about it. Like, I think he probably did it begrudgingly. But the fact is, what he did and how he helped shape that ride maintained the integrity of, the area, the actual ride system, and he did something different. It wasn't the same ride. He totally turned that into a different ride. So the ride system, he kind of pushed it into a different direction and created something different. That's Joe Rohde. He probably would have done something similar using what they want to do now at Animal Kingdom.
But he may have questioned them. So that's it.
Yeah, so let's get rid of them, right?
The government and big corporations, they know that.
This video is getting demonetized for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, we did leave Animal Kingdom from there, and we went back to the hotel and kind of rested for a little bit, and then we decided we were going to go to Three Bridges. Three Bridges is, the resort that is located at Villa del Lago in the middle of the lake at Coronado. And again, I apologize for this crooked filming. I noticed that because it's artistic, all right. It's maybe something else that rhymes with artistic, but not artistic. And I won't say it I don't want us to get demonetized for that. But with that said, I was holding my camera and I couldn't see because of the sun glare, the light glare. And I couldn't tell whether it was crooked or not. So some of these are that way. I was a little confused as to where Three Bridges was because it did say Villa del Lago and it does not say Three Bridges anywhere. It's just you're supposed to assume, I guess, that there's Three Bridges and that's the restaurant, right?
You gotta count the bridges, I guess.
I guess so. I actually walked up to the to the person seating people, and I asked, "Is this Three Bridges?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And so Three Bridges is basically, if you look at the at this video here, it is sitting in the middle of the lake itself, and it's just basically kind of a lounge, more or less. It's a small restaurant. It doesn't typically take reservations, but it's got this beautiful bar with this Spanish relief on it, and it's just Spanish as in Spain inspired. The bar is just gorgeous. It's it's just got the the wooden rafters, and it's a really great looking place, and it's all open, around the sides. So you're getting the atmosphere from the lake, from the resort, from people walking on the bridges. You got the bar behind, so it's kind of got a loungy feel to it, but you also got the tables that are also Spanish inspired. And I really, I love the decor of this particular restaurant. I do think that I don't know if how much you've ate Spanish inspired food, John, but usually it's the small portion stuff, and this kind of was that small portions thing. I started out with an appetizer of roasted corn dip. It has aioli, corn, and tagine, and they have restaurant-made chips with it that come with it. My wife actually even liked this, and she's pretty particular about stuff like that.
Extra lime into it. I'm already on board.
You can. Well, so that lime came out of my beer, so sorry. It's not. So if you get a Modelo, which is what I got, you could take the lime out and squeeze it in there. I did not do
that. It came with the food. So.
No, I didn't mean to be deceptive there, but you can see the table too kind of has a Spanish design on it. They serve it on these wood planks. This was recommended to me by somebody on Reddit, this particular corn dip appetizer, and I did not regret it. I was glad for the recommendation. It is very good, and if you ever go there, John, I recommend it. It is
corn dip and corn chips. That's good.
Yeah,
I do love corn too. That's nice.
Yeah, and it has a really nice taste. It's different, so mix it up, because the tagine has that sharp, really sharp taste to it, and at the bottom of this is like a cheese dip, and you got the corn in there and the aioli all mixed together. But it's really, man, I'm my mouth's watering just looking at it.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Man, it was really, really good. Really liked it a lot. Okay, so the next thing we got, she got a burger, of course, and it's called the Three Bridges burger, and it came with paprika fries. And the burger was different, John. It's not like your typical Disney burger. It had some kind of spice in it, but it tasted really good. I tried it. The paprika fries were unbelievable. The fries that came with that burger, whew, they were really good. They had a nice flavor to them. I got the braised pork tacos, and that is
really good.
They were really good, Dan. I almost called you Dan. They were really good, John.
Either way.
Yeah. John, Dan, whatever, They came with like a marinated fruit of some type. I'm not really sure what that fruit was, but it was interesting. It had a weird taste to it. I wasn't real crazy about it, but I don't think you were supposed to put it in the tacos, and I don't think you could have squeezed them in those tacos. So, but the tacos are really good. They come with, there's 3 of them there. But They were very good. Overall, I'll just talk a little bit about Three Bridges. It is on the pricier side because most Spanish inspired restaurants are on the pricier side. But again, I think you'll find that at Coronado Springs in general. The ingredients of everything at Coronado Springs seem to be a step above.
Yeah, that looks like it's all fresh, real stuff. So I mean, it looks high. It looks like very high quality food, at least. So.
It was very high quality. Even my wife's burger and those fries, all of it. I can't speak enough for the job that culinary has done at Three Bridges. Unbelievable restaurant. I would definitely love to go back there again. They have other options on the menu that they're all pretty much Spanish inspired or Southwestern themed. I think they're mostly Spanish inspired. Small plate stuff typically. I really, they have a very extensive wine menu. They actually have a wine flight. And while we were there was a group of people that were really dressed up in really fancy, like Italian dresses and suits and stuff that came in and sat by the water. And they came in to do like a wine flight. So I think the wine flight, they do something called Wine University or something there at the resort. And so they were either there for that and they just dressed to the nines, or there was a convention in town of some type. So I can honestly say there you were, John. You were like taking over, and I know you're muted because your dogs are barking in the background, but you were the star of the show for a minute. But definitely I would highly recommend this. It's a great experience. I don't know anything about wine. I wouldn't recommend that, but I mean, just the food, and maybe stop there for a beer with some of your small plate stuff. Even if you go for appetizers, that corn dip is really good, and they have some other really interesting things on that menu. As far as like appetizers, I think they had like a fried calamari of some type on there. I won't try that. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but I know a lot of people are. But definitely a good place to go to eat if you want to go out on a date night with the wife, John. I know she has some allergies, so they do have, I think, an allergy menu if you tell them. My wife got a plain burger, so she could get a plain burger and those fries. Maybe so, but it's a good place. I really enjoyed it. All right. So we went from there. We were done for the night. We went back to the room, and the next day was Magic Kingdom. And this is our last day. We were only in town for the 2 days and then flying out on Monday. So, fall colors, Magic Kingdom, fall decorations. Magic Kingdom was not very busy it at that point in time. But, it crowded after that. After we arrived, the crowds followed us in. This was a resort, a Halloween party night. So we thought, and this is the point where you're like, okay, you thought, that's the problem. We thought that maybe it would be a little lighter crowds because of that. Au contraire. If we would have rope dropped, we would have got a lot done because the crowds were very, 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 very light early on.
That is weird because that usually works out for me, but maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
This was at probably about 10:30ish, maybe a little earlier than that. But we decided, okay, what we missed the last time, we missed Big Thunder Mountain. So we were going to head over there, but we stopped at Pirates on the way over, and Pirates was only like a 10-minute wait. So we thought, man, this is good, great. 10 minutes. And that's all it was. It was 10 minutes. We got right on Pirates. From there, we moved over to Big Thunder Mountain, and it was actually, when we went over there, it was like a 20-minute wait. So we thought, 20-minute wait, that's going to be good. We got over it. Man, it was not a 20-minute wait, John. It was more like a 45-minute wait. And that's how we knew the rest of the day was going to be, heavier crowds. So we decided, after we rode Big Thunder and we went out, it was like 45 minutes then. We decided, they are definitely, all the things that they say they're going to change. I'm sure they're going to change Country Bears. So we went over to Country Bears to try that.
I have to say too, with the Country Bears, I can't say they're my favorite, but if you're going to change them to sing, if you're going to change that to sing songs, Disney songs, you might as well just close that up and make it a store or something, because that's not why anybody goes in there. They don't just love Country Bears singing to them. They like the nostalgia of it. So you have nostalgia, and that's why people go in there. That's why I go in there. It's like taking a time machine back to the early days of back when Walt was around, the wacky stuff that they were working on, and the stuff that today we find funny, but that's what makes it good, is that it's so original and old. And I was going to say, whenever I go there's always some old people in there that are clapping, laughing, smiling, and they just love it. And I'm like, yeah, I always think, man, these old people, they love this ride. And again, people are clapping, singing, laughing. The people who never went are always surprised at the inappropriate humor part.
Yes, that's right.
But again, you take that all away and say they're going to sing your favorite Disney song. People are going to be like, skip, once and done. Good.
Yep.
That's my thought, at least. So.
I completely agree. I think you're right. And I'm going to miss the Country Bears. And I love the inappropriate kind of sounding nature of it. And I love the things that they do. I'm not going to say that it isn't dated, but they could have updated some things and left the rest of it alone. I mean, they're even changing Liver Lip's name because, alcoholics are what? Offended that you're calling some... Yeah,
I always just thought that's a name you call. The Three Stooges would call each other that.
Yeah, because it's like an insult and a term of endearment at the same time to a friend, right? It's one of those deals. So I know, but we got to be offended by everything nowadays. So we got done with Country Bears and decided to walk across the park. And we decided to go over to, I don't know who that racist is right there, or that offensive guy, but, we should just cancel him. But we went over to Buzz Lightyear because it was like a 15-minute wait, weirdly enough. And we got right in, did the Buzz Lightyear thing. Then from there, we went in the People Mover. It was like a 10-minute wait. And the thing about the People Mover this time, John, there was a cast member. They were switching shifts or something, and he had just came in to work the People Mover. Do you ever notice in the People Mover, as you're going up the conveyor belt, they're counting the people going up the belt? Because if you put too many people up there, they're going to smack into each other at the end of the conveyor belt, the escalator. And I've been on that, and that's happened to me about 6 months ago or so, back in March, because some cast member wasn't paying attention down at the bottom in deciding how many people they were putting up. Well, this cast member was on their cell phone the entire time, just standing there on their cell phone. And this is the only negative experience I've had with a cast member this trip. The cast member he was down there on his cell phone the entire time, playing a game or talking to somebody or doing something. I don't know. It's none of my business what he was doing. But not even paying attention to what was going on around him. And he was the only cast member on duty at the bottom of that line that was supposed to be paying attention. And so I got up there in time and I moved into the line closer to the front of the people mover. And usually when the people mover stops, the conveyor belt stops, so no one's going to smash into anybody. But if you're not careful with watching the way that things are queuing up, you're going to smash people into each other. And that happened before another cast member came over and, he yelled at this kid and, told him to go up to the top of the conveyor belt himself. And the cast member, the whole way up the conveyor belt, I'm not even kidding you, John, the whole way up the conveyor belt was like this on his cell phone the whole time, like just not even paying attention to anything around him on his cell phone. And he was obviously on duty because he was supposed to be directing, and he was just kind of lazily directing people at the bottom of the belt. Now, this isn't a cut on cast members as a whole. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm just saying this is something that you never saw. Like, I never saw anything like that in the past. So I don't know what's going on with these, some of these cast members, some of these hiring practices, so to speak. But for the most part, everyone was real attentive and doing a great job this trip. This one guy, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if he's a college program kid or what, but he got up to the top of the conveyor belt and stayed on his cell phone the whole time. And then by the time we made it back around on the people mover, the kid was gone. So I don't know where he went. Maybe someone sent him to a less dangerous job or something, but that's kind of my rant for a cast member on this trip. After that, we went to Carousel Progress. I have to do that every time. And then we went to Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh was like a 15-minute wait. We got on that ride. And then we decided, okay, we need to do one last thing. And that was go to the Haunted Mansion. So we made our way over to, I wanted to say, before we went to the Haunted Mansion, we went to,
That looks cute.
by the, teacups ride, do you remember what that's called? That quick service kind of kiosk? Cheshire Cat. We went to the Cheshire Cat and they had new drinks from the last time we were there. And so we went over kind of the Cheshire Cat cafe there and we got these drinks. One is like a tea and one is like a kind of a slushy drink, and we tried those. They were the one with the, the foamy stuff on top, the Cool Whip or whatever it is. It was really, really sweet. Way too sweet for me. It's some kind of strawberry thing. The other one was like a tea. So it was like an iced tea, and it was pretty good. It was called Witch's Cold Brew, I think. There is a sign back here at the beginning of this. Yeah, it's let's see if I can get a closer look at it here. Queen of Hearts slushy, and the other one was the which is some kind of witch's cold brew. But anyhow, they were actually, the Queen of Hearts slushy was too sweet for me, and the witch's cold brew was pretty good. All right, so we went to the Haunted Mansion, and so this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about Splash Mountain. And by the way, John, did they add new background characters on this ride in the graveyard scene? Do you know? Because some of these look fairly new to me.
I don't know if it's new, but I heard that there's a mummy that he's either new or they updated him. So like he looks different than he did. So
yeah, he's
part of the refurb that recently.
Right there's the mummy. Guy. That's him right there.
I don't know if he was not there or if he just really didn't move. I think he was there, but he wasn't as well lit. He didn't move. Now he's very clear, well lit. He's talking. His mouth's moving. So
I think that's what they did. I think they updated and cleaned up some of these because they look way clearer. I don't know if you noticed in the dance hall scene or whatever they call that one. The windows that have the curtains in front of them are now blowing all the time. And whereas for years, they kind of did away with that effect, I believe. So it was just, kind of just stationary, ripped and tattered curtains. Now they're actually blowing in like the glass is broken. So, I noticed that this time. So next time you're there, take a look at that, and everything just looks cleaner. So they did a pretty good refresh on this. It's not just, Madame Leota or the Hatbox Ghost that's yet to appear, which I did see where that's at. So this has weird wait times, John, and this time around it wasn't too bad, but they did say that it was going to be a half an hour wait, a 30-minute wait. It ended up being like half of that for us to get on it. But I've noticed without Splash Mountain being open, the wait times are really strange around the park, in particular this area, right around where the Splash Mountain area was. It's definitely put a hit on the park. Like there's definitely some of the rides are getting odd wait times because of this, and Haunted Mansion is one of them, I believe. And also I just wanted to say got a comment from Juden. Hi Juden, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming to the stream. I didn't notice a lot of progress from the last time I saw them working on the Tiana ride from now. So I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're working internally, but I don't know if you've noticed that it doesn't seem like after they got that water tower up, like they really did much on the outside of that.
I don't really look at it very often. So to me, I don't know. I try not to go over to that area very often.
I go over for the coaster, but I don't typically look over there. But this time I took a gander to kind of look at that and see what was going on and what kind of progress they were making. I did not take any pictures or video though. All right. So after leaving there, we decided to go back to Epcot, and basically I'm just going to go through real quick with what we did at Epcot. We did go on Living with the Land. We went on Soarin', and we went on Spaceship Earth, and really for the most part that's about all we did as far as rides. And then we went back to the hotel because it was starting to get a little late. We did the Fry Flight, which you've done that before, right?
That's one I always enjoy.
Yeah.
Although, as you can, I feel like they've been putting a little less fries in it.
I think they are too. They did too. I didn't take any out of this one. I will, my take on the sweet potato fries, the ones on the end here, they get really soggy out in the heat. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like the sugar kind of melts and they get soggy. And I don't know. They're just strange because you don't expect that with French fries, Yeah,
I don't know. My wife usually eats those, so I usually only have one or two.
I'm not crazy about them, but I did like the other fries. One had vinegar on it. One had an aioli with bacon, like kind of a bacon bit on top of it. So I like that. I did enjoy the Fry Flight. And again, 100-degree heat index that day. It was pretty hot. And yes, I did get a beer at the Fry Basket. I can't help myself, But all right, from the Fry Basket, we the only other thing that we did that day was we got the Canadian cheese soup, which I think you also get this typically.
No, I had it once and I didn't really like it that
much. Oh, okay.
But again, it's 100 degrees and you're eating hot cheese soup.
You're right. I don't know. I mean, I must be insane or something. I don't know. But and I got a beer. Just I got the lager over at the Canadian Pavilion. But in any case, cheese soup was good as always with the pretzel. I don't think my wife likes this too much anymore, but I really enjoyed it. And that was pretty much it for the parks. You know, we went back there. We did get back to the Japanese pavilion, and we went to get the for my daughter, got chopsticks for her. Later on that night, we went to the food court that you were talking about earlier at Coronado when we went back to the hotel. That food court is called El Mercado de Coronado now. I don't know what it was called when you were there, but I think they've changed it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely changed.
So I got what was called the barbacoa rice bowl, and that had some chicken in it, and you know all of these greens, and that was pretty good. I did enjoy that, but it's pretty expensive. It was like $18 or something like that. And then my wife got the nachos at the food court. Again, the food here, those nachos were house made. So the food here is like a higher caliber food, I think. And so that was it for that. The next day we flew out. Before we flew out, I don't have video or pictures of it, but I did get the chicken stuffed waffles with house potatoes from Rick's Sports Club on the way out of the resort. This was a breakfast thing. And I know you talked about that before, and that is something that a lot of people are interested in. This is the Ranchos section back by our room. That's kind of the decor of it. But you talked about the chicken stuffed waffles with house potatoes. Basically, what it is just a Mickey waffle with like a almost like a chicken nugget or you know a breaded chicken finger or something in the middle of it. They give you syrup with it and these almost like home fried potatoes with it. It was okay, John. It was okay. I mean, I'd like for you to try it sometime yourself and tell me what you think. But it was exactly what it sounds like. And, you know, it wasn't too bad, but I probably wouldn't buy it again. So I think it was like $18 for that. And I think that's kind of expensive for what you got there. But, you know, people, I would encourage you to try it and let us know what you think. The chicken nuggets, they weren't seasoned or anything. So it was just a breaded, normal breading on a piece of chicken, like a little chunk of chicken with a Mickey waffle around it. So,
Yeah, I was hoping it would be tastier, but yeah, I was going to say the restaurant used to be called the Pepper Market.
the Pepper Market. Okay.
Yep, and I've eaten there before. Very colorful, festive, large variety of stuff. They had a bunch of different locations you could go and pick up food all around. It was very unique.
Mhm. It's still like that in a way, but it doesn't have any servers. There's nothing like that. You know, it's like any other kind of quick service. It's just a different overlay, so to speak. A cafe, I mean, that they have at the hotels.
They unthemed it too to make it look cleaner.
Yeah, I was going to say that it does have a theme to it, like the tile. There's some tile work that's like Spanish tile and things like that, but nothing like you were describing. And actually, when you mentioned that, the peppercorn, I remember seeing pictures of that. So it was very heavily Southwestern themed, I believe, right?
Yeah, very colorful.
Yeah. So it's not quite as colorful as what it used to be. All right, John, that's it for my trip to the parks, my final annual pass trip with my wife. It was a good trip. I really like Coronado Springs quite a bit. I would love to stay there again. It's definitely up on my list of hotel stays. Beautiful resort. I love the bridges. I love the restaurants. I would say it's more adult in nature as far as like, and I don't mean a bad way. I just mean, it's more themed for adults, although there's a lot of things for kids to do around there. That pool is unbelievable. The one with the pyramid. I did get some video of that, but not a lot because we didn't have time to go swim at the pool. But definitely a nice pool, a nice play area for kids. But I would stay there again, John.
Yeah,
Bus,
I think it's nice too.
yeah, the bus system was pretty good too. Really didn't have to wait too much for buses, so it's pretty centrally located around the resort. So that's one thing I noticed. All right, John, that should do it for my trip to the parks. Where can they find you online?
You can find me at SeeWDW on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, C.UO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and you can find me at The Giant Rat, TGE Giant Rat on all the socials. And I did buy one piece of merchandise, John. Just one.
Yeah, that's nice.
The Headless Horseman coffee mug. I always got to get a coffee mug when I'm down there. I usually get a dated one for the festival. I didn't really like the Food and Wine Festival resort mug this time, but I did come across this thing with the Headless Horseman, and I love the Headless Horseman. It's my favorite part of the Halloween event at Disney. So I had to get that. I thought that was cool. I think they did a great job with that.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, they must have just put it out because they just put out a bunch of them and they were finishing up stocking them up. They had them in a couple different places, so I grabbed it. And it actually says on the bottom of it, on the top it says Headless Horseman. On the bottom of it says Ichabod and Mr. Toad, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, 1949. So
that is cool.
loved it. Love it. All right, John, that should do it for this one. We will see you on the next one.